All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Jasmine Black, and I am one of McKendree Worldwide's enrollment specialists. And as you know, we've been doing an ongoing video series featuring some of our McKendree faculty and student service specialists. And so today I am joined by Dr. Jen Webster. Hello, Dr. Webster. How are
Hi.
you?
Oh, pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. Thank you for finding the time to speak with me and our viewers. I know, everything's crazy. Everybody's crazy at home right now, right?
Yeah, insane. Yep.
Understatement, right?
Yeah, that's
Well,
okay. We're all
cool.
doing our part, right?
Absolutely. Yep. So, I mean, as you know, we're doing the interviews remotely as, McKendree continues to do its part to flatten the curve. So, if you're ready, we'll get started.
Sure thing.
All right. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and the program you oversee?
Yeah, sure. I'm Dr. Jennifer Webster, and I am the director of the Master of Arts in Criminal Justice program here at McKendree. I'm also an associate professor, and so we have a master's degree in criminal justice, and we also have an undergraduate program in criminal justice that's housed in our sociology department. That's a really fantastic thing because it also allows us to have a partnership between the undergraduate and the graduate program where our undergraduate students can actually begin taking graduate courses in their junior and senior years, and they can earn up to 12 credits toward their graduate degree before they even graduate with their bachelor's degree. We got some exciting stuff going on.
That's awesome. So, how long have you actually worked for McKendree, and I guess kind of what brought you to us?
Mhm. So let's see. I came to McKendree in 2015. So it's been almost 5 years now. And I was at a university in Northern Kentucky before that. And I think what drew me to McKendree was initially just the idea of being able to both run a graduate program and be able to just work in my discipline because I had done a little bit of both things. I had run a graduate program, but it was in an integrative studies program, and then I had also taught in my discipline, but I hadn't done the two things simultaneously, and so this was an opportunity to do that. But then what really sealed the deal for me was when I did my campus visit. When I came to McKendree, and of course, the first thing you're struck by when you come to the Lebanon campus is just how beautiful it is. Then the historic buildings and all that sort of stuff, the pride that they take in just taking care of the grounds and everything. But beyond even that, it's the people, right? So the faculty and the staff and the students and everyone from the moment I first came to campus just really made me feel welcome. You could tell that there was a real sense of community at McKendree. And because it's a small institution, I knew that we would have very small classes and there would be an opportunity to get to know students in a way that I couldn't do coming from a larger public institution like I was coming from. And that's definitely been the case. I mean, every student in the graduate program has my personal mobile number, and we text each other. And, you know, they know that if they're freaking out about COVID 19, or if they just have a question on the latest assignment, that they can call me or text me. And I'm not going to not know who they are. I know all of their names. I know beyond that, I know something about them and the situation that they're facing right now. And so that's something you just can't get everywhere.
That's so true. Yeah, that's really beautiful. And I know from the student side, I'm sure they appreciate, your willingness to do that and your dedication to really having that connection. So that's definitely one of the things that attracted me to McKendree too. Really just our personal touch and that one-on-one connection that we're really able to have with our students. So
For sure.
that's awesome. Well, so speaking of COVID-19,
Hmm.
how have you adjusted your lessons and kind of your teaching style and everything
Yeah.
since we've started making all these changes due to COVID?
Right. So the good news about our program is that we were already online. So all of our courses were developed to be taught online, and I've been teaching online for years, and the students were already taking the courses online. So that part of it, the only thing that was challenging was just that we went from having some people trying to get online sometimes to everybody in the world's trying to be online at the same time, right? So, of course, there have definitely been some technical issues just in terms of internet bandwidth, both on the individual side trying to access the course, and then, just um, things being slow. But we worked through that. Um, and then I think for me, it's been challenging for me to teach because I've got a husband who is he's a frontline uh, healthcare provider. So he's actually in a hospital right now taking care of COVID-19 patients. And we have three young daughters at home. So the challenge of keeping all of us healthy while he does his job has been a lot. Um, and then helping my daughters, two of them are in elementary school, so helping them finish out their school year online. And then our youngest one is not even two, so she's not in daycare, and she doesn't understand why we can't all just like give her attention, and why Mickey Mouse can't be blaring on the TV all the time, right?
Right.
you know. So for me, it's been tough to juggle in terms of all the responsibilities and the time and the stress, and I have to brag on my students here because they've been fantastic. I mean, they all have their own issues going on. We have a lot of students in the program who are frontline personnel themselves. We've got police officers and correctional officers and people who are essential. And so, and you add to that, we've got some international students who, are trying to get home in the middle of all of this, people who are trying to take care of their families. And then just, man, this is crazy, right? Like we're all stressed. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, but my students have been phenomenal. Um, when when I couldn't get online literally because of technical issues, they just kept right on trucking. They just kept right on doing the assignments and having these phenomenal discussions. And when I did get on and I read the discussion boards, I was like, wow, these are my students. Aren't they awesome? And just when they have things going on and they maybe have to be late on an assignment, they're really great about just communicating that with me. And even before COVID-19, because of the nature of their professions, that would happen sometimes. But now I'm especially understanding about that. And so, what I said to them is we just have to give each other grace right now. Um, we're going to keep doing our best. We want to have a quality experience, but we're humans, right? And so I
Yeah.
think that we've all done a good job of remembering this is a tough time for everybody, but man, they're still killing it. They're doing such a
Yeah.
great job.
That's great. Yeah, and that's a great outlook to have, So thanks to your husband, for everything that he's out there doing
Thanks.
and, awesome job to you. Like I can't imagine juggling three kids and being in that situation. And I know there's just so many more, like you and that have that story
Yeah,
right now. So
that's right.
yeah, just kudos to everything that you're doing right now
Mhm.
and everything that everybody's doing, just
Yeah,
to get through this time.
yeah.
So tell us a little bit about kind of the real world experiences that you do bring into the classroom
Mhm.
and kind of incorporate into your lessons.
Yeah, sure. So I come from a family of first responders. We've got a lot of folks in my family who have worked in policing, both at the federal and the local level. A lot of people who served in the military. Um, I myself was a first responder on the medical side for a lot of years in my younger days, and so being a medic, of course, I interacted a lot with the law enforcement side of things as well. And and then for a while, I was the manager of a dispatch station for a security firm. So we interacted with local law enforcement on a regular basis there too. Um, to tell you the truth, I I planned on getting a master's degree and joining a local agency. I didn't see myself teaching. I kind of fell in love with the classroom and with the students, and got encouraged by my own professors to continue with my education because, like one of them told me one time, you there are lots of different ways to make a difference, and you can make a difference in the classroom, because the students that you're teaching in the classroom, they're going to go out and they're going to be making a difference and having an impact, on the streets. Um, and so, yeah, so I ended up in the classroom, studied policing and systems theory as my two specialty areas, but was really fortunate to go through a graduate program that had the philosophy that you can't really be an expert on any one part of the system unless you have a well-rounded education and you know something about all of the system. And that's the same, philosophy and approach that I took when creating the system or the program that we have here at McKendree. So we really want folks to have a well-rounded education. We have courses that are required that focus on all the different parts of the system, but we also recognize that the people do have interests in or are specializing in different parts of the system. So we also, through special projects, and through the capstone course, we give them the opportunity to narrow in their focus and kind of emphasize the different areas of the system that they may be working in or that they're most interested in.
Gotcha. Okay. Would you say those special projects are kind of what makes our program unique, in comparison to some of the other ones?
I think maybe even more so than just the fact that we have special projects, it's the fact that because we are such a small program and we have this really low student to faculty ratio, it's that all of the students get to know one another as well as the faculty. And so when they work on these group projects, they may be working with students that they've taken all their classes with, or they really get to know one another, and they're really invested in not just their own education, but they're invested in one another. And so they don't want to let one another down, and they work really hard to shine, on their part of any particular project. Um, and then a lot of the students are already working in the field, so it's really awesome when we can put together a group that might have um, a person who has 20 years of experience with the Illinois State Police on the same team with a student who's coming through the 4+1 program, and they're still technically an undergraduate student who doesn't have work experience in the field yet. So we mix things up so that we've got people with a lot of different perspectives, different levels of education, different levels of experience. And I find that we all benefit from that. Even the ones who maybe are very experienced, they've even commented repeatedly on how refreshing it is to kind of see their world through the eyes of these younger and less experienced students, because it reminds them that maybe I've taken some things for granted, or maybe I've become a little bit entrenched in my ways of thinking, and seeing it through someone else's eyes has made me question things again. And that's good.
Yeah, gives perspective, right?
Hmm.
That's always nice.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well, so what would you say maybe are a few of the other interesting courses that are kind of within our program?
Yeah, so we recently revamped the curriculum because we really want to streamline this. We know that we want, like I said before, we want to give them a well-rounded education, but we want to get them through. I mean, we know this is an investment of time and money, and people are short on both of those things, right? We all are. So what we did is we tried to create required courses that hit on not only just your sort of traditional areas of the system like police, courts, and corrections, but we looked at, well, what are the challenges that the system is facing as we move into the future. And so we've got a required course in terrorism and homeland security. We have another one on cybercrime, for example. And then we also have within our elective choices, we have courses like crime prevention or victimology. And so we have really tried to give students a broad based foundation, but then we're saying, all right, these are the challenges that everyone in the system are going to be facing moving ahead. And so you really got to begin to know something about cybercrime, whether you're going to be working directly in a cybercrime unit or not. You can't be a part of the system and not have at least a basic understanding of cybercrime.
That's
So,
so true. That's so
yeah.
true. Okay. So I mean, so you've talked about special projects, you've talked about kind of the different courses.
Mhm.
What would you say are some of the coolest projects that you've seen your students do in your tenure?
Oh my gosh. So we got some fun ones. So there are two classes in particular that I always do group projects in. One is crime prevention, and one is a policing course. And so in the crime prevention course, what I always have teams do is I have them identify a real community and a real crime problem that currently exists in that community. And then they take a philosophy of crime prevention that we've been studying, and they develop strategies for reducing crime in that community based on the things that we've been studying in class. And they've come up with some phenomenal things. I mean, some of them have looked at reducing, theft from vehicles in specific neighborhoods in St. Louis. So they really get narrowly focused on a hotspot problem, and then they develop some very specific strategies for that. Um, and then another course that I do that in typically is the policing class, and so I'm teaching that right now, and I cannot wait to see it because one of the groups is actually looking at um, strategies for policing from a community policing perspective during COVID-19. So what does this new situation we find ourselves in, what does that mean for policing, particularly community policing, which is all about making connections with the public?
That makes sense. I mean, I would definitely be curious to see what they come up on that with that one
Yeah.
too. So interesting. Okay. So, I mean, some of the other projects, have you actually seen them apply those, techniques or what they've come up with, and kind of has that changed the trajectory of crime in certain areas?
Well, so most of the time, what happens is that they're either already working in the field or they
Right.
graduate and they go get a job in the field, right? So I will say that we have graduates in virtually every federal law enforcement agency you can name. We've got somebody there, either from the graduate or the undergraduate program at McKendree. Um, Same is true for our state and local agencies. And so I think we are having an impact in the sense that they are taking sometimes those specific projects, sometimes just the knowledge and the experience that they're gaining through doing those projects, but they are applying them in the real world. We've got a graduate from our first cohort in the graduate program, and she's actually working in East St. Louis right now, doing the type of analysis of crime problems that she said she never envisioned herself doing, right? But she's drawing on the things that she learned in the program, and she's really making a difference. I mean, they've been doing write-ups on her in the local newspaper and everything about some of the fantastic work that she's been doing. And so that is really, really gratifying to see.
Absolutely. Yeah, I bet that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, so I think you've kind of hinted to it, but what's your favorite part about working at McKendree?
It's the people, hands down. It's the
Yeah.
students, it's my colleagues, it's everyone. We have some really fantastic people who teach for us sometimes here in the MACJ program um, that I haven't mentioned. We've got the local police chief here in Lebanon teaches for us sometimes. We've got a retired district court judge teaching for us. We've got people who are running correctional programs teaching for us. We've got someone who's now with the Secret Service on their cybercrime task force who has taught for us in the past. So we not only have awesome people who are just like spectacular human beings, but they're coming and they're giving their time back by using their expertise to help develop and to teach courses, to the students who are coming along behind them. So that's really awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I feel like it brings a different dynamic, you know, to the table too. So something that I'm sure our students appreciate.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. So do you have any words of wisdom, for anyone thinking about joining our program or, just thinking about pursuing a master's in criminal justice in general?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would say, I know people are scared right now, right? Like everything seems uncertain, everything's up in the air. Um, but really that's life, right? We never know what is going to happen next. And so the best you can do is to be prepared, to plan, take advantage of opportunities when they come your way, stay optimistic. So if you're thinking about going on and getting an advanced degree, go ahead and apply. Go ahead and fill out that FAFSA. Um, we have a 30-hour master's degree program. That's can be done in 1 year. If you're really hitting it hard, it can be done in one
Yep.
year. um 2 years max, right? And my mom used to always say, look, you can sit around and do nothing and be in the same place you were a year ago, or you can take a step and a year from now you're gonna have accomplished something. So just do
That's
it.
true. Yeah, that's true. And it may seem like a lot now, but I mean, when you look back on it, I mean, what's really a year out of our entire life, right?
Yeah, the
Something
first
that's
step
going to
is
propel
always the
your future.
hardest.
Yep,
Yeah. But
you're
we've got
right.
people here to help. We've got admission specialists, and we've got financial aid counselors, and folks like you
Yeah,
who make it happen, right? So, yeah.
exactly.
So if you have questions, then just reach out. There are no dumb questions, and we want to hear from them. We want to hear
Awesome.
from people.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you and your time. Thank you
Thanks.
for educating us on the MACGA program and our Bearcat family. And shout out to all those that have been tuning in, to our videos today. We also have a ton of other videos that we're posting. We're pretty much posting these weekly, so be sure to check those out also. And if you have any questions, then you can always reach out to me, and I'll make sure that you get to Dr. Webster and she'll answer whatever questions you have. One of the beautiful things, I think about us is that most of the time, if you reach out to a specific, program, your
Hmm.
chances are you're probably going to get the program director. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we'll definitely take care of you. And so, as always, with everything going on right now, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll catch you all next time. So,
Thanks.
take care.